Happy Saturday, December 23rd. Merry Christmas Eve. I'm your host, Kimberly Perot, and welcome to Wasatch Weekends. On this morning's show, we will show you all of the delectable and delicious Christmas treats as you are heading into this weekend. We'll talk about eggnog French toast dippers, hot cocoa, a breakfast casserole that is just savory and delicious, plus the conversation nobody wants to have, but how to watch out for COVID-19 during this holiday season. In the meantime, before we get started, let's take a look at today's weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Now, you probably have had the classic French toast, and you normally have it for breakfast, but since it's the holiday season, we show you how to make a delicious eggnog King's Hawaiian roll French toast dipper. Let's take a look. Welcome back. We're in the kitchen. Are you excited about this?
I'm ready.
I know every time I bring Ross into the kitchen, he claims he's not a chef, but we are slowly turning him into one here on the show.
I think we can do this.
I think we can. So I have a question for you. What's your favorite breakfast food?
Hawaiian roll French toast.
He knew exactly why he had to say that, because that is what we are making. We are making a holiday twist. We're doing eggnog French toast dippers. So lots of fun, and King's Hawaiian bread. Who doesn't love a good King's Hawaiian bread?
It's a good start.
It is a great start. So simple ingredients for this one. We've got the King's Hawaiian rolls. You've got your sugar, your cinnamon, your nutmeg. We use a little vanilla extract. And instead of using milk, we're using eggnog, which I'm a big fan of eggnog. You know, forget the peppermint mocha. I know I do like the peppermint, but give me eggnog. I will drink that entire thing. Warm, not warm, whatever, it's delicious. So I was really excited about this recipe here. But I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so we actually did some things, a little bit of preparation ahead of time, but super simple. We opened our King's Hawaiian rolls, and what we did from there is we sliced it into thirds, and then we toasted it in the oven at 300 degrees for about 3 to 5 minutes. So Ross, if you wouldn't mind grabbing the rolls out of the oven for me. So we've got them already toasted. They are ready to go, and we can just pull that out here, and we'll actually just kind of set it right here in front of us.
It's gonna be hot.
It might be a little bit toasty. So while he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and get our batter made. So with any good French toast, you want your batter going. You need about 2 eggs and then half a cup of eggnog. So if you wanna just put that right there, that'll work for me.
They smell so good already.
Oh, well, who doesn't love a King's Hawaiian roll? They're so versatile from a baked good or from a carb perspective. So we would do about a half a cup of eggnog, but I'm just actually gonna just pour it into here. You know, that looks good to me. We'll do a little bit more maybe, but it doesn't really matter if you're making anything French toast. You just
Can't hurt it. Yeah.
You have to just get the ingredients nice and wet. So then we're gonna do 2 eggs. I've got my eggs right here. So Ross, how are you in cracking eggs?
I can crack an egg.
Yeah? All right, well, I'm gonna give you one, I'll do one, and then we'll just crack them.
Have you seen the videos of the parents that crack the kids or the egg on the kid's face?
Oh, for sure. It's one of my favorite videos that's circulating the internet right now. We'll just throw them back in here, and if we've got a trash can up, you're good to go over there.
Good to go.
So we'll do a little dash of vanilla extract to pour in there as well, because that is the key to French toast batter. So I would do about, half a teaspoon. I love vanilla, so I just kind of eyeball it there. And then we're gonna whisk it all together. So if you wanna go ahead and grab that whisk that we've got right here and just make sure it's nice and stirred. We have our skillet is hot. We're gonna throw in some butter there, and we're just gonna fry up these French toast bites that are about to happen.
It smells so good right now in here.
Well, holidays, festivities. I know I'm excited to spend some time with friends and family and just really be in the kitchen. So we're gonna go ahead and get this butter open here. Just one about, I don't know, I'd say like an eighth of butter, you know, obviously depending on how big of a batch you're making here. But we're just gonna get this butter into the skillet. There we go. Make sure that it is burning. You lower the temperature just a little bit. That looks perfect to me. If you want to prefer that over here. Just make a mess there. All right. Now here's the fun part. It's dipping it in. We can throw a little nutmeg into this batter if you wanted to. We've got some nutmeg in our mix, so this is what's going to make this an extra special treat.
Okay.
You're just going to take this so you can see it's nice and crispy.
You can use your hands.
Yep, using those fingers. We washed our hands, so we are ready to rock. When you're in the kitchen, always make sure you wash your hands first and get that going in here. We're just going to do this, pop it in. You can hear that sizzle, so we're just going to start dunking and sizzling.
Love it. Okay, I can dunk.
You can do the dunk?
Yep.
You're welcome to use the fork if you want to. But we've got it sizzling here in the pan. This is our first one, and you just want to make sure that each side is crisped up. Now, the reason we crisped it in the oven ahead of time, because otherwise it'll really soak up the batter, and it'll almost soak it up a little bit too much. Whereas these, we want them to be, you know, normal French toast is a little bit softer when you eat it, but you want these to be like handheld so that you can dip them into the maple syrup that we've got. This recipe that we have, it says maple syrup is optional. It's never optional.
No.
It is always a requirement. So I can smell the eggnog. It smells delicious. So if you can look there, we're starting to flip these over. It's a nice, easy, crispy side of things. And now here's where the fun part is that makes this extra delicious. We have a cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg mix. So the second these are finished cooking, we're gonna toss them in this cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg mix, which we'll pull over here in a second. And then we're gonna get everything plated, ready to go. We'll dip it in there. It's gonna be good.
I'm loving this.
Yeah. So Ross, if you wouldn't mind pouring some of the maple syrup into our cute little serving dish we've got going on here. And this is just a fun, like, party holiday dessert. You can basically bring this to like a brunch. You can serve this on Christmas morning. You can serve it, you know, if you're going to just anything really, because who doesn't love breakfast for dinner, breakfast at all times? Have you seen the movie Elf, where he has all of the sugar and all of the maple syrup for breakfast?
He puts maple syrup on spaghetti.
Maple syrup on spaghetti. I've yet to try that, but maybe I should. Maybe that's our next episode.
You're killing me. You're trying to kill me.
You're killing me, Smalls. All right, these are looking good. They're crisping up. I'm gonna go ahead and get a couple more of these rocking and rolling in
Cool.
here.
I can help you with that.
Yes, you can. Awesome. They look great to me. So this one is nice and crispy. All right. And that's the best part. It's pretty easy. If you don't know how to make French toast, all you need is your milk, an egg, vanilla extract, and that's the beginning of it. But we're doing the eggnog version.
Ready for it?
I'm ready for it. We've got
Coming
a
in.
little room here on the pan. And I think these are looking good. These 4 pieces first. So we're gonna go ahead and get that dipped into our cinnamon and sugar. And you wanna do it while it's hot because then it absorbs all the cinnamon, all the sugar. All right. Boom.
Oh,
Looking good to me. The pressure's on. Did he make it,
Nailed it.
from the bowl to the pan?
Nailed
I think
it.
he did. All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna just take, we're missing,
Oh, it looks
missing
so
our
soft.
tongs here, but that's okay. We're just gonna do a quick little scoop. I'm just gonna drop it right in there on these that are finished. Boom, looking good to me. We're gonna toss them in that cinnamon, sugar, nutmeg mix.
and
Put 'em
what's
on
the
the
drink
plate.
that pairs with this? Just a nice cup of eggnog, or?
Nice cup of eggnog. Just keep it going. Eggnog adult version.
There you go. Yep.
We could do that. You could just do it with your coffee. Really kind of anything, right? You just want to get that cinnamon and sugar all over these. There we go. Just a nice little toss there. And it'll caramelize up a little bit because it's fresh out of the pan. All right, and if you had tongs, you just take those tongs and you can just place them on that plate. They look pretty darn good to me.
They look amazing.
Right? And you see how it's like I'm able to put them on the plate and they're not like just crumbling apart in my hand?
Yes.
It's because we toasted them in the oven
Yes, they're
ahead of time.
keeping shape right now.
They are keeping shape. So we've got a couple more here. We'll do that on the next round. And then I think you and I should try them.
I think so.
What do you think?
I like that idea.
You know, it's a great start to the Monday morning and the holiday treats that should be happening all week long.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is in a week from today, which is insane. Yeah, I'm pretty good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, do you have any favorite holiday treats or breakfast things that you do?
No, I'm still, you know, a 5-year-old at heart, so I still love cereal.
Cereal,
Stuff
okay.
Like that. Eggs from time to time.
Simple?
Eggs and sausage.
Eggs and
Nothing
sausage?
Crazy.
My dad does pancakes every morning, or every holiday morning whenever I go home. So maybe he should be doing these eggnog French toast dippers instead.
Yeah, these look pretty good.
They look pretty great. I feel like we're almost ready to toss these, and then
Okay.
we'll toss them, we'll try them, we'll live
Cool.
our best lives. Now stay tuned, we'll be right back after this. I am finishing up this batch here, but I say we try the ones that we do have finished because
Yes.
they've cooled down a little bit. As you can see, they're covered in that delicious cinnamon sugar nutmeg mix with the maple syrup. So
So I like the end pieces.
the end
Oh, do you
pieces,
like the
oh,
ends?
that's good. You're the guy that likes the end pieces.
Oh, they're the best.
We'll do a quick little dip there, try it out in that delicious maple syrup. What do you think? Are you a fan of the eggnog?
There's a lot going on right now.
All of the flavors.
That's breakfast?
That is breakfast.
Not dessert? Okay.
That is a Christmas breakfast if I've ever tasted one. It is quite delicious. You've got the sugar, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, the eggnog, which is actually a very like light flavor.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Now, if sweets are not your thing for breakfast, Mark and I got into the kitchen and we made a delicious and savory breakfast casserole. Well, it is a fun Friday, and we are sizzling things up here in the kitchen. And I don't even know what Mark's doing. He's back there prepping things.
I'm actually looking around through the cabinets to see what other things we can add into this to
This
make
sizzling concoction.
this breakfast casserole, like an egg strata, yeah, these things are yum.
You know, this is like one of my favorite things. I always do a big ski trip every year with my brother and a lot of our friends. And what we do is prepare a lot of breakfast casseroles. So it's super simple. You can make it overnight and then you literally just pop it in the fridge in the morning. Because who wants to make a lot of things early in the morning for a lot of people? I don't.
I never do. It's not my deal at all. So is this your special recipe?
So it's similar, not my special recipe specifically, but I do love to do this. And really, you can follow the measurements, but you really just kind of put in whatever you want to, really. We've got, so we're cooking up some onion just to soften it a little bit so that when you bite it, it'll be
You can
baking.
put it in there, obviously raw dog if you want to, but you don't need to.
Yeah, and so we, during the commercial break, we decided we were going to brown a little bit of the sausage.
Yep.
And I love sausage in the morning.
Is that the Jimmy Dean?
I don't know what brand it is. Mark got this started during the commercial break.
It's the Jimmy Dean.
It is the Jimmy Dean. And I like a good
Now,
sausage.
have you had the Jimmy Dean maple sausage before? I wouldn't.
I bet that's good.
It is good, but I wouldn't use it. Probably wouldn't mix it with this because it's that sweet piece that I don't know. I like the savory kind of yum, but
Same.
the sweet is good at times.
Sweet is good at times. You mentioned the maple. I actually, when I eat sausage,
Am I freaking you out by keep on being
I don't know where to look right. When I'm eating usually sausage with my pancakes, I always drench it in the maple syrup, and I only use real maple syrup.
Really?
Yeah, none of that sugar-free Aunt Jemima stuff.
So we were talking about this recipe, right? And
Yes.
We have basic stuff that goes into it.
We do. So what's kind of easy about this recipe, you just need a carb, which we're using frozen hash browns. Super simple, and you're just going to layer it. We use 6 eggs, 2 cups of milk, and then whatever breakfast meats and vegetables that you want to put in it, and of course cheese, always cheese.
I found some Vermont maple syrup too.
Well, I'm going to save a little bit of
Would
sausage.
you-
and eat it on the side because it's not going in my eggs.
You heard it. So I was looking in the fridge for more things we could add to it, right, Kim?
Yep.
And I'm not going to open the fridge, show everybody what's in here, but I did find a couple things. Now, this we found out is a little Tupperware full of little diced jalapenos, which for me would be really good in here. But we also found out
They've got a kick to them.
they have a kick, but because they've been kind of hanging out in the fridge probably for a little longer than they should have been.
We're admitting that on live TV.
Oh, not bad. So we're gonna. I mean, look at that. This little thing hid in the corner in there. You wouldn't even see it. But we're not going to use those today. But you and Kevin made this yesterday.
We did. We made bacon, cream cheese, cheddar ranch bites. Delicious. So we basically, you can make this as a dip, but we just rolled it into little balls and stuck pretzels on it. So it was like a cake pop, but a savory cake pop made out of cheese.
And this, I think, could work with this. So I think we should add this in.
I'm here for that. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's going to be going in here in a little bit. Once
Absolutely.
we preheated the oven at 350.
We did. We did.
Do we need to spray this down or give it a little?
You know, we.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
We don't. We can, but you don't need to. You can literally. You can just throw everything in there, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, just to make it easy on your life when you're getting it out there. But the best part about this recipe too, it takes about once you're finished like assembling it, and you can layer it like a lasagna if you wanted to. You can just kind of mix everything together. But sausage is going, so we're almost done here. And if it's not completely cooked, it will bake in the oven too. So you don't have to worry about making sure that it's completely cooked. In fact, I think we should get started on the rest of it.
Even though it's really raw, let's just eat it.
That is not what I said. You get to just throw it in the oven.
fine.
It's going to be baking for about 40
Did I tell
minutes.
you I had hernia surgery the other day?
You're still dealing with the after
Feel
effects
this
of
right.
it.
Feel this right here. You feel this? Just feel this right here. Right
I
there.
think I'm good.
That's the. There's three.
Mark, we have eggs to crack.
Okay, here we go. So we're
We've
doing
got
eggs.
6 eggs. We've got to
So
get this.
these are
taken
going
care
in
of.
here with the milk, right?
They are. So, word of advice: don't crack it on the edge if you can help it. Crack it on a flat surface so that you don't get a shell in there, unless you're expert, which Mark is.
I'm actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, some people aren't.
I can do it
I'm
for
not
you.
on occasion. Depends. If I have an audience, sometimes I get nervous.
Really?
Not just with cracking eggs, you know. People watch you. The way you crack your eggs tells you a lot about a person.
Confidence.
It does. It really does.
So eggs and milk are going in here right
2
now.
cups of milk. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and get that milk rolling while you crack the eggs.
And we're just kind
You
of
can
eyeballing
free-
the milk.
yeah.
We can eyeball this milk
Yeah,
for
it's
the
pretty
most
easy.
part.
You basically just kind of want to make sure that the consistency is good, and the milk also just adds like extra fluffiness and a little bit of
Because you could use half and
moisture.
half
You could. You can.
if you wanted to, right?
Yeah, you could. And, you know, you could throw cream cheese in this, but we're keeping it pretty basic. We are throwing cream cheese from the leftover dip.
Yep.
But, you know, just to make it creamier, a little bit more delicious.
Okay, you got that.
Yep. All right, I'm going to let you freehand the milk since you're manning it all. Then you're just going to stir it all together. And yep,
I'm liking that.
that looks like 2 cups of milk to me.
Works for me.
Then add salt and pepper to your liking.
Behind you. I'm going to go over here real quick.
Always great to say behind you when you're in the kitchen. Make sure that you don't run into anybody.
I'm going to use this.
I used to wait tables in college, so that was a phrase we used all the time.
We don't have a blender or a mixer, so I'm just going to use this, okay? You good with that?
Great with that.
It's all the same flavor anyways.
You can add salt and pepper to taste how you want to. You can add garlic powder, you know, really whatever you want to.
Paprika, chili powder.
I love a good chili powder, huh? You're into the spicy?
I like chili powder. I use it a lot at my house. Paprika I use a lot too.
Yeah, I like paprika as well. Mostly because it's a red spice and I have red hair. So then you just layer it. So then we're gonna grab, while you work on that, we're gonna let this simmer a little bit longer. Probably should stir these onions a little bit as well.
Wait, so this is going in. What goes in first? The potatoes?
So we put the potatoes first. I'm gonna grab those out of the freezer.
They're right there.
Yep.
Do you want me to do a little, just a little wipe in the pan, just because? I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
A little olive oil, just because.
Sounds good to me.
Good deal.
So you want to do about a half of a package of a 15-ounce frozen bag of hash browns, which is what we've got right here. Well, we've got 30 ounces. So I'm going to do about a fourth of this one.
And that's going to be the bed?
And we're going to put it in the bed. So yeah, I'll grab this right
And
over
we're
here.
going to put it in the bed. You knew what I meant.
I did. I knew
I
exactly what
just
you meant.
made it up.
Yeah.
That's good. See?
You're just going to basically like shake it out in here. And really this is kind of to your discretion, right?
Yeah. Everything is.
Always is. That's the best part about using a savory
I just
breakfast
put it in just
casserole.
because I want to. That's the fun of cooking, right?
It is the fun of cooking. All right, so always
Where's
make
Johnny,
sure.
by the way?
You know, that's a great question. Hopefully she didn't get lost going to grab a coffee.
I wish we could check in with her.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so far so good.
We've got this in here. Yep, so far so good. We can go ahead and start layering. So what I would suggest doing is doing all of the more stable ingredients, i.e. like the onions, the meat, all of that, the potatoes first, and then you're gonna just bathe it all in the egg mixture.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yeah, so what do you want to do with it?
All right, you tell me.
I mean, it's all the same, right?
It's all the same.
Here.
You go
do-
first.
You do the sausage, I'll put some onions in. Want to put them all in, or are we just going to layer?
Yeah,
Put them all in.
let's put them all in. Why not?
Yeah. As long as they're not lumped up in one corner.
You know what's great about this too?
But you can layer cheese.
We're gonna do that after we get everything rocking and rolling. What's great about this recipe is like it got protein, all the carbs that you need, especially if you're getting out on the mountain.
Heck yeah.
So we're just gonna go ahead and do a sprinkling of cheese here. I'm a big fan of cheese in between every layer.
Yeah. I found this extra bag
Great.
in the fridge, so let's use it all.
Let's use it all. It's just gonna be a cheesy goodness. All right, are we ready to throw in that sausage? I think so.
Yeah, we're good.
I think let's do it. You got it?
Yep.
Great.
I'd rather use my hands.
You know, a little grease never hurt anyone. In fact, it makes it more delicious, in my opinion.
Are we we want to go all of it in there? Or you
I
wanna
think
layer?
so. Let's throw it all
right,
in there.
good
Let's
with
make
that.
it
Let's
a
do
nice, hearty, protein-filled breakfast.
My mouth's watering right now.
I can't wait to try this.
Kim's like, I'm taking all the leftovers home.
I don't know if we're going to have leftovers between you and I, my guests from out of town, and the rest of the crew
Oh,
here.
yeah,
I think
Johnny.
it's-
Johnny,
I
I
think
heard,
it's
has
gonna
quite
be
an
gone.
appetite.
You know, all right. We'll sprinkle a little bit more in here. Why not?
Can you sprinkle more than that?
Yeah, we're just working on it. All right, we've got some salt and pepper.
Yeah, we'll put that on too, but this is ready to be.
All
Can
right.
you decide what you want to do? We gonna take a break, or we gonna come back?
I think it's time to
What? Pour it and go.
pour it and go.
Go, and we'll put more cheese on top, right? We good?
Absolutely, we're good.
Oh, and I think the ticket is going to be those little nuggets of joy, these little cream cheese thingies.
It's gonna be so good.
We mixing it or no? We don't really mix it, do we?
You can if you want to. You don't have to, but
I think it looks pretty solid, don't
I think
you?
it looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
And then it's cool. The eggs are gonna rise a little bit. Everything's just gonna fill in. We're just
And it's gonna coagulate.
it's gonna coagulate.
Well, in a sense, right?
Yeah, it is.
Put some of this on. You're like there.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cheesy,
that's
but we
good.
like the cheese.
Yeah, that's good. And
Awesome.
then we don't have any tin foil, so we're going to use the cookie pan. We're going to use this as a cover to put it in
It's
the
the
oven.
magic hack.
Is it ready?
It's ready. We're ready to go.
Okay. You open that oven up for me, and
I
I'll
will
toss
open
her
this
in.
oven. You ready? Here we
Yeah,
go.
good. We go. Oven 350. And we'll just keep checking in on it.
And it should cook about 40 minutes or so.
40 minutes?
40 minutes. That's what it takes. So we'll be enjoying it at the end of the show. But great segment. Love being in the kitchen. Mark did not throw anything at me like he did the very first
not
time.
over yet.
Well, stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning Vail right after this.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Out and about, you were visiting friends and family, we're attending holiday parties, and COVID-19 is still very much a risk. I had a conversation about how you can treat COVID-19, be preventative, and watch out for all things that may affect you. Let's take a look. Now it's the holiday season, which means people are out and about. You're spending more time with friends and family. You're attending more events, and that means you are at greater risk of contracting COVID-19, which is still an ongoing threat. Joining me today is the Chief Medical Officer of the Illinois Department of Health, Dr. Artie Barnes. Dr. Barnes, how are you this morning?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank goodness. No COVID on my front, but talk to me about COVID and who are at the most risk for serious illness from COVID-19.
So it's important for people to know that almost 3/4 of our population has a risk factor for developing really severe COVID-19. And you could go to, again, cdc.gov or the COVID Vaccines Project and look for your risk factors there. But I think the key thing to know, having an underlying condition, cancer, heart disease, having just a weakened immune system from being on medications that suppress your body's ability to fight infections, all those can put you at risk. And sometimes some of these risk factors can be subtle. For example, just having physical inactivity or even mental conditions like depression can put you at risk for having serious complications from COVID-19.
Wow, I don't think I would have thought about the depression being a factor that can put you at serious risk. So talk to me about COVID-19 treatment options.
So the good news is we have 2 oral pills right now that work well to protect you from getting you to the hospital, as well as 1 intravenous or IV medication that can do that too. So the 2 oral pills, people may have heard of these before, Paxlovid and Lagevrio, and they can lower your risk of getting to the hospital almost by 50% in some studies, 80% in others. And so it really is important for people to be able to talk to their providers and find out if this pill is important for them. But the key thing is time. They have to get these treatments, the oral pills, within 5 days of starting their symptoms from COVID. And the symptoms can be subtle. It could be as simple as fatigue or feeling a little small fever, maybe a sore throat or a cough. So as soon as your symptoms start, the clock starts ticking, and it's important to get these antivirals in, especially if you have an underlying condition that puts you at risk for severe disease. So talk to your providers immediately, have a plan ahead of time, know that you can access these medications. And again, 2 options right now, both Paxlovid and Lagevrio for oral and remdesivir for intravenous.
That's good to know. Now, talk to me about the antivirals and how they work. So is it okay to take them, the second, like, let's say I had a scratchy throat, is it okay to go ahead and start taking them just to be preventative?
Ideally, you want to make sure that you have COVID, because the scratchy throat in the season could be RSV, it could be flu. You really want to make sure that you are at risk for COVID. However, if you're someone who's extremely vulnerable, let's say you're on some kind of cancer chemotherapy and have very low ability to fight infections, or you just recently had a transplant, then I think this is something to talk to your provider ahead of time and say, when should I think about starting treatments before even waiting for the test results to come back? Again, I cannot imagine a scenario where that would be warranted, because right now you could get test results really fast. Now, you could take the COVID-19 tests at home. There are also some commercially available at-home tests for flu too. So I think those are important to remember, that you could get your test results pretty fast within 24 hours and then determine, do you need treatment for flu or do you need treatment for COVID?
Absolutely. So it sounds like have a plan ahead of time, take a COVID test, and then start those treatments as soon as possible. Now,
yes,
let's talk a bit about the media report. So they're saying there's a rebound from these antivirals. Is that a concern? Can you explain a little bit further what a rebound would be from the antivirals?
Yeah, and just to be clear, antivirals do cause rebound, but so does COVID itself. So rebound has been associated even outside of the context of anyone getting an antiviral. So what rebound means is that you've gone through the illness, you felt better, or the virus is clearing from your system, and then it reactivates or comes back. And it's likely that that happens in certain situations. Sometimes when you take the antiviral, some people will clear it and then they feel the virus comes back. And it's not that the virus is resistant to these antivirals. They've already found out that that's not so, but there are mechanisms at play here we don't quite know. Now, one recent study showed that you can actually get rebound if you take the antivirals a little too early from the point of time where your test turns negative to positive. So within 2 days of your test going from negative to positive, if you take it, there's a possibility of rebound occurring. But the good news is rebound, for the most part, is mild. It has not resulted in a higher rate of hospitalizations or deaths. In fact, these antivirals still are profoundly effective in protecting you from hospitalization and death. And most recent studies, real world studies, even in the past year in 2023, have shown that you could lower your risk of death by even about 70 to 80%. So would you rather risk death versus rebound? I think the question for me is simple, that you would potentially risk a little bit of a reactivation of the virus if you're at high risk for complications, especially if you know these antivirals will protect you from hospitalizations and deaths.
Oh, that's a no-brainer in my opinion as well. So where can we access these antivirals?
The good news is they are at most pharmacies. And different states have different mechanisms of how they've distributed these antivirals. We in Illinois have distributed it through pretty much most of our retail pharmacies here. You can actually go to the COVID-19 treatment locator, which is open access for anyone in the country, and type your zip code or look into your state or your region, and it'll show you where your treatment options are. It could be pharmacies, it could be providers' offices, and this is for those who have the U.S. government supply. Now, it's commercially available. Both of these products are commercially available, and so you don't necessarily even need to tap into this resource. You can just talk to your providers and see if they can just prescribe you this antiviral, and not everyone will still qualify for the free U.S. government supply of these antivirals. So they're now reserved for those who have Medicare, Medicaid, certain forms of public insurance, and of course those who are uninsured.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like it's best to talk to your provider, find out where you can get them, and obviously be advised for treatment. Dr. Barnes, thank you so much for coming on, and hopefully your information sharing will lower the risk and COVID-19 won't be as prevalent this holiday season as we've seen it in the past. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I hope so, and stay safe.
Same to you. Now, happy holidays, and stay tuned. Now, we've got a bit more left on the show. We'll be right back after this. It's wonderful weather out there, especially for this Christmas weekend. Now, if you like to have something delicious when you get off the slopes, and especially when it's homemade and you know it's made with a little love, Ben and I got into the kitchen and we made his family's recipe of hot cocoa. Back to Good Morning Vail now. I'm loving these kitchen segments because that means we are approaching the holiday season. And approaching the holiday season, there's lots of fun things to do. So Ben, you are going to show me something really fun to make, to give away as gifts.
One of the things that we've always done in my family in the holiday tradition is we've made a bunch of different homemade gifts. And one of the all-time favorites is hot chocolate kits.
I love a good cup of hot chocolate.
I mean, everybody loves hot chocolate in the summer, and as ski season's coming on, we're going to warm up. And so these kits are great. They look like little ice cream cones, and they are servings for 4. So there's everything you would need for 4 hot chocolates in there, toppings, everything.
Awesome. Well, in honor of today's segment, I actually had a cup of hot chocolate last night right before I went to bed. So I cannot wait to see how we make these fun and delicious kits.
I drank way too much hot chocolate last night, making sure I had everything ready and was prepared for everything to go. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to make our own Swiss Miss.
Awesome. I love that. What's great about these too, we are entering into the holiday season. You can use it as a gift, but you can throw it in a backpack and take it out on the mountain. So I think it's all purpose. Opening day tomorrow. You want something warm and delicious and festive.
If
we
we're
go.
really feeling ambitious and we want to make a huge batch, the batch would be good for up to a year just stored in a cool, dry place. So it's not something that we need to like rush out to make use of right now.
Awesome.
So let's get started.
All right.
Got this guy here. We got a mixing bowl, of course, and got to have a whisk. It's far and away my favorite kitchen thing is whisks. I just love saying the word whisk. So we're going to start out here. We've got our 2.5 cups of condensed milk.
Okay.
Or not condensed milk, powdered milk.
Powdered
condensed milk would be a little bit wetter than this. Pour that guy in there.
So that's 2.5 cups.
Yep, 2.5 cups of just normal powdered milk.
And you can just get that at any grocery store.
Great value. This particular one, Walmart. And that's one of the other great things about this. It's a nice impact for the gift. It's, you know, really visually stunning. It's something that people are going to enjoy, going to be able to use, and it's really, really cheap to make.
Awesome.
So
Well, we like that. We like cost-friendly gifts.
Exactly. After we've got our powdered milk in there, then we're after our baking cocoa.
Okay.
So again, it's just standard baking chocolate, just like you would find at any grocery store. Pretty easy to be, you know. Fortunately, it's not very sweet.
You don't have to have like a specific brand. You can just get any
No,
kind.
any kind. I mean, I personally prefer the like heavier cocoa contents, so I went with a 70% here. Or actually, no, I think this one's 100%. Huh, even better. So we're just going to dump that guy right in there too.
Okay, so we've got our powdered milk, our
Yep.
baking cocoa. Awesome.
And our baking cocoa, we're only using a cup of baking cocoa.
Okay.
So it's going to be 2.5 cups of milk, 1 cup of cocoa, and then we've got 2 cups here of powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, as opposed to like your granulated sugar, which you've got here. The reason we're using powdered sugar is it mixes in a lot better and creates a little bit more of a smoother consistency. And so we'll just go in there, try not to turn everything into a giant powdery smoke screen.
So you're just kind of layering everything in.
Exactly, layering everything in and then
The
whisking
whisk.
it all together. And before, we're not quite done yet, so I'm just gonna whisk our ingredients here together, make sure that we've got it all nice and mixed, and it's already starting to get a little bit of that nice chocolatey texture. You know,
Delicious.
exactly, right? It smells great. But now, we've got a couple more things to add before we're really done here. And our next big thing, and this is kind of our secret ingredient here, is cornstarch.
Cornstarch. Okay,
We're going to
why?
add a little bit of cornstarch, and what that's going to do is that's going to help it thicken up when we
Okay.
mix the water in if we're using water, because we're designing this to use water. You can still use warm milk, you can still use whatever, you know, oat milk, almond milk, whatever drink you prefer, because that little bit of, you know, or that little bit of powdered milk here, it's not going to be dairy-free with the powdered milk, but that's going to allow you to use whatever liquid you prefer. But that cornstarch is going to help it be a little bit thicker and help it give that, you know, nice hot chocolate consistency that we're all so used to. And so we got our cornstarch
Using
here.
the water too makes it easy when you're on the go if you don't
Exactly.
have your preferred milk on hand.
Exactly. And so then our cornstarch here, we're using 2 teaspoons of cornstarch. And then we're also going to add just a little pinch of salt here. And that's going to give just that little bit of offset for the chocolate.
I do like a sweet and salty flavor combination. So
Now-
I think that's going to be delicious.
And this is kind of our basic recipe here. If we really wanted to pump it up a notch, which we don't really have time for today,
Okay.
but what we would do is we would take our powdered milk and lay it out in a baking sheet and bake it for about 15 minutes until it gets like a
Interesting.
nice golden brown color. And that's going to give our hot chocolate a little bit of an extra carameliness to it. A
Interesting.
little bit of an extra depth to the flavor. And then
How did you learn
Our
the
last
trick of
dish.
baking it?
that was an Alton Brown thing that I picked up watching TV.
And hopefully somebody picks up and watches our show and will be making this hot
And
chocolate.
his other thing that he recommended was adding a dash of cayenne pepper.
Yep.
So
I
we'll
have
do
to,
that
I have
here.
to interrupt there.
Oh,
I
yeah, go for it.
love cayenne pepper mixed with chocolate. It is delicious. One of my favorite ice cream shops when I used to live in Nashville had a chocolate ice cream with a lot of cayenne pepper in it. So the fact that this is the warm version, I'm so excited.
Awesome. So yeah, we're just gonna whisk all that in there real quick. And then our hot chocolate mix.
See all of the residue coming up from the bowl.
Right?
I cannot wait to try it.
And that's it. Our hot chocolate mix is done.
Easy.
Yeah,
Perfect.
pretty short, pretty simple. And
Okay, so
that's
the main ingredients are?
main ingredients are 2.5 cups of powdered milk, 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, 1 cup of cocoa, and then 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, and then a pinch of salt and a pinch of cayenne pepper.
Perfect layering of flavors,
Boom.
in my opinion.
But now, for what makes it special and makes it our big trick is we are going to use some clear piping bags.
Okay.
And we're going to take a cup of our mixture here, and we're just going to fill our piping bag with it. But first, we've got to put something down in the bottom here to kind of create a little bit of a tip for us.
Okay.
So, what do you think? Should we go with sprinkles? Or
This is
chocolate
hard to
chips?
decide. I love anything with sprinkles in it. So yeah, let's go with
let's go
sprinkles.
sprinkles, yeah.
You can never have too many sprinkles, in my opinion.
Exactly. And I mean, in the one that we've got there, I found that the hot chocolate, using the chocolate chips, it kind of got mixed in a little bit at the bottom there. So easily the trickiest part, if you ask me, is just getting everything in here nice and layered. And not way overdoing it.
But this is up to your discretion, so you can put it as little or as much as you want.
Exactly. I mean, really, you kind of want to envision 4 cups of hot chocolate with everything that you've got, because we're only going to have enough room in our piping bag here for about a cup of hot cocoa.
Okay.
Or a cup of hot cocoa mix. And so it's a 1/4 cup of the mix to 1 mug of cocoa. So these make about 4 mugs. All right. So we're running out of time here, but let's go fill this up real fast and make our little.
It's going to be fun watching you put this in there.
I'm not going to do it myself because you're going to hold that open for me.
Okay, I'm here for that.
Awesome. All right.
I'm just going to keep it nice and stiff.
Oh no.
And it's a party. It is a party on this Thursday morning on Good Morning Vale.
Doing our best not to make a giant mess.
A holiday party, and look at that. Gorgeous. We did it. Some way.
Almost. But now to finish it off, to really create that like ice cream cone look, we're gonna create a layer of
Chocolate chips.
chocolate chips right there.
And this is the fun part. You can really put whatever toppings that you like to put into your hot
Exactly.
chocolate.
And if we had a funnel, we could be a little bit cleaner up here in the top. Or if we had a rag, we could just wipe that out real fast and keep everything nice and clean. But then to top it off, we've got to give it some marshmallows to really make it look
And then
like
to
that.
make it very holiday and festive, if you were
Ice
to tie it
cream
off on the top, just use whatever ribbon you want to. And we've got some pretty ribbon here. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a couple pieces.
And then we just turn the top there.
I'll let you do that. I'll do the tying.
All right. Tie it off.
And I'm a big fan of, the curly Q ribbon. So I'm an expert, I'd like to say.
All right.
I'm the one that gets designated to do that whenever we're wrapping gifts in my
Gotta
in my
see
household.
the professional curly Q ribbons.
All right. Well, we'll see how. I've never done it on a hot chocolate cone, so we'll see how that goes. You want to hold it? if
I
you don't
will
mind?
hold it, yeah.
Awesome. So I think the fun part with, did you know the trick and the secret to this? You go the opposite side of the natural curl, and you just pull it up like that.
Boom.
Great.
Magic.
Do this side. Boom, and you just kind of.
And then if you really want to set it off for your holiday gift, wrapping it up with a card or a little bit of like some sort of notice, and then also include a little like printout with the ingredients or something, or just, the instructions, not the ingredients, but cup of cocoa or 1 mug per 1/4 cup of mix, and there'll be 4 in each cone.
All right. Well, I know what I'm going to be doing in this commercial break, making up a nice cup of hot cocoa. I cannot wait.
Oh,
to
we
try it.
definitely have plenty of mix left over.
We've got the cayenne pepper. I love the secret ingredient, a little bit of salt. It's just quite delightful. So I'm excited to try it. Thanks for sharing today.
Oh, thank you. It was a blast.
I love learning people's holiday family recipes, so this is just a really good one to
And
implement.
my family has a bunch, so we'll be back.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned. I'm going to go make that cup of hot cocoa, and then we'll be back with sports, crock pots, and more. So stay tuned. Hour 1 is on our way.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
I certainly hope that you've enjoyed spending your Saturday morning with me. It is December 23rd. Hope you're getting out there on the slopes. Merry Christmas Eve. Have some fun with your friends and family this weekend, and we'll see you next time.